Now that all of the nonsense with SideQuest Expo is done, which the expo was fabulous. There have been a bunch of videos posted about it. John Riggs did one. A few other people have done them. It was a great expo as usual. But now it's finally time to get back to this 2FX with the distractions over. I'm going to start by doing one of my least favorite tasks in the whole world. I'm going to recap it because that seems to be the next course of action. I'll start by ripping off all the old caps. I will clean the board with soap and water. I probably won't show that because the sink that I'm going to use for that, there's not a very good way to film over there, but toothbrush, warm water, nothing harsh or abrasive, and then let it dry for a super, super long time. And then put the new capacitors back on. So, instead of chin wagging and carrying on, let's just dig right on in. All right, so let's see. It looks like there's just a couple screws that need to come out, and then it looks like this should just pop out. Now the thing that causes me a little bit of anxiety about this whole thing is all this rust around here. I'm worried that I'm going to get this board out and that the underside of the board is just going to be an awful, yucky, rusty mess that will be completely unsalvageable. But I should find that out here in just... Does it go this way? Does it go... How does this want to pop out? Those are clipped. Okay, maybe I have to undo these clips. Like so. There's a few rows of them. There's a couple more here. And let's see, there's another one there. Okay, now the moment of truth. Oh, other than some dust, and a little bit of something going on here, the underside of this board actually looks fine. Yay! Oh, what a huge, huge relief that is. So what is going on here is there's another piece from the old power supply connector. So under this, So I do have some navel jelly, so I will use that to try to get this rust off because that's pretty bad. And there's a bunch more dust in here. So I wonder if this shield comes out completely. No, it looks like it's attached here by way of melted plastic. So this isn't going to come out, but I should... I wonder if I should just use a stiff bristled brush to try to get off the bits of rust that I can here and just leave the rest, because I don't know if I want to get navel jelly in here that I may not be able to wash out, because usually that you want to wash off with hot water, and I don't know what state that will leave things in. But in the meantime, we can return to this board. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go through. I know everyone has different opinions about what the right way to remove surface mount capacitors is. It is not a task that I have done before. I have managed to just not do it. So this will be new for me. I think I'm going to actually try to desolder them and pull them off with pliers. I may try that for a bit, and if that's too annoying, I may do Adrian Black's twist to pull them off, and then desolder the remnants. But then all of these, everything that can be removed will be removed. And then I'm going to give this a good wash with warm water to try to get the ick off of it. And then I'm going to have to let it dry for some days. And then I will recap it and we'll go from there. But I need to heat up the soldering iron and I will zoom the camera in a little bit more. And my camera does not like to zoom while it's recording. It does dumb things. So we will cut to a closer shot with a hot soldering iron. I'm going to start with this capacitor right here just because it is the easiest one to get at. And I'm gonna noob this up for sure. Let's see. And I already realized that I should have put fresh solder on the tip. So let me do that. There may be a jump cut here. Let's see if this works. Oh, well. So I feel like that's maybe not very much better than, because that just came right off. That might not be very much better than just doing the twist thing in the first place. And let's see how it goes on another one. So like I said, I have not ever done this, and I would... All right, so that doesn't want to cooperate on that side. I would love to hear your comments about your experiences with this in the comments. So it does not want to loosen up. Okay, there it goes. So that end came up. And then can I get at this end? I am super nervous about... I don't want to be that guy that puts a paper clip in an old computer, and that's exactly what I wanted to avoid. So, damn it. So the trace came right off the board on that one. All right, I'm going to have to pause and rethink, because, yeah, that trace came right freaking off, and it goes right through a via directly underneath. So that's like the worst case scenario. Oh, goody. Or what's that? It is really hard for me to tell now. That was a trace that connected and went under this thing and goes down over here. All right, so that one I might be able to reconstruct. All right. Well, let's try another one. And I will try Adrian's just twist method. And that came off. I've got a little toothbrush here. So that appears to have left the pad on. So let's try another one and see. I'll try this one here. See if it also works well with that one. Okay, so that's okay because it's okay if the base disintegrates there. Do I have something handy to pry that off with? Yes, I do. So then the base, I'm going to use a little bit of heat here to... All right. So that seems better because that came off more clean. All right, I'm going to continue on with that method. Because so far that method's 100% and the other method was only 50% and it took way longer. So I'm going to try this. If I was just doing that other method in the noobiest possible way, again, let me know in the comments. One thing that I enjoy about making videos is there are a lot of people out there who know way, way more about this stuff than I do. And I enjoy hearing feedback and being told what I'm doing wrong, or being told when I encounter things that don't seem to make sense, being told why they are the way that they are. Like, it is all a learning process. I do find it interesting that a bunch of these pads are missing capacitors to begin with. Like this pad and this pad, although this is labeled FD12. I wonder, this one, this is very interesting. I wonder what's going on with this. I'm going to have to, in the process of, while I'm waiting for this to dry, after I've cleaned it out, I'm going to have to look up the proper service manual for this and see if I can learn some more about this board. Because as one of my viewers commented on my previous video, there is not a lot of Mac IIfx on YouTube. And that seems a shame, because this was such a cool machine. You know, at the time, I was into Amigas, so, you know, of course, when you like one sports team, the people for the other sports team, they're all evil hooligans, and, you know, until they get traded and come play for your team, and then they're great. You know, they're totally reformed, right? So, you know, at the time when I was an Amiga fanboy, well, what was I don't think there's ever any recovering from that. All Macs were terrible, and I hated them. Right? Is that all? I think that is, so I can zoom out here. And that should be okay. So I think that is all of those surface mount caps. The axial capacitors all look fine. I'm not worried about them. Okay, it looks like all of those, but there's still a few base plates. A little bit of, okay, and that one is still wanting to hold on, so there. That. Okay. I think that's all of them. Now I need to just remove all of the RAM. The other nice thing I have found about, I've started recording repair projects even if I'm not intending to make a YouTube video about it, because I can come back later and be like, crap, how do I put this thing back together? Where does this screw go? And I can just go back to the footage and be like, oh yeah, it goes, the short one goes there, the long one goes there, and that's how that goes. I'm going to see if I can do my usual trick of insert and twist. Now pull this out and try to get these PGAs out. So I have a couple Amiga accelerators that can take math coprocessor and can take them up to 50 megahertz. And I've been looking for a separate 68882 50 megahertz for a long time. And when I was first looking, a couple came up, and I thought, I'll be able to find one cheaper than that. And now there's just none. There's none except ones from China under sketchy circumstances that are still not cheaper than what I could have gotten it for years ago. So when you see something, get something. Because strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. All right, so that should be able to come out. And all the pins look good. And just that little bit of base. Okay, so there is a little bit of cleanup, but left to be done. But I think the solder pad cleanup I will do when I put the new capacitors on. In the meantime, I'm going to take this over to my utility sink where it is, filming is not is not really an option, and I'll see if I can clean this up and get all the goop off, and then return in a few days to replace capacitors. All right, so it's been at least a week since I took this out of the case and removed all the capacitors and washed it and used a soft bristled toothbrush to clean it. I've almost completely recapped it. I did record a bunch of that, but I deleted it because it was ugly, and within the first so I did this capacitor first, and within the first 2 seconds, I melted a little bit of this slot because I'm a doofus, apparently. I still haven't replaced the capacitor over here. I believe that this one is just related to the audio circuitry, so if it causes any problem at all, I'm hoping that it will just be that sound won't work or something like that. That's my hope. I've installed the batteries and the RAM and reinstalled the CPUs. After washing this, I had this sitting in front of a fan and rotated it in both sides for several days. So I'm confident that it is as dry as it's going to get and that there's no liquid hiding underneath anywhere to short something out. So, I'm actually quite nervous. I really want this to work. I've hooked up the speaker. There's no video. I have video cards, but I don't know if any of them work. So my hope is that that at the very least, the power supply will come on and that maybe we'll get a chime out of the speaker. And if that happens, I'll call it great success. And if not, maybe I'll have to, maybe I'll weep uncontrollably and I'll have to cry myself to sleep tonight. But let's, yes, I am procrastinating. I'm stalling. All right, let's give it a try. Oh my God. Okay, well that's something. The fan came on and the power supply and the speaker made a noise. I guess that came on right away, so I don't know. I don't know how much of a sign of anything that actually is. Oh my God. Okay. All right. I'm going to go see if I have a random Apple video card a random NuBus video card that has VGA output. I think I have one. I'll try that. I'm going to turn this off. And it turns, oh my God. Oh, such a relief after all that. Oh man. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to breathe. And I'm going to see if I can find a video card that I can use with my crummy Dell monitor that's off camera this way somewhere, and see if I can actually get anything to show up on a screen. Okay, hold please. I found this eMachines video card back in my stash. It is the only card I have, the only Macintosh card I have, or NuBus card I have that has a plain old VGA output. Like I said before, I've never installed this in a computer. It was given to me, I believe. I don't think this came from the same rescue where the IIfx came from. I have no idea if it works at all. I'm going to just install it and connect it up. It'd probably be easier if I do it in this order. And hope for the best, really. So, if it doesn't light up the display, that either means that there's something else wrong with the board, that some of these really janky recapping that I did is janky, or that the video card is bad. It could mean either thing. But I think at this point, I feel like if it gets to the point where it chimes, that likely means that the CPU and the ROM are good.
And that's something. I've seen a lot of people talking about like having to repair the power on circuit. So that obviously is working. So I guess let's just fire it up and see what happens. See if anything comes up on the screen here. Oh. Something's happening. So this bit, okay, well it's woo! It is all right, so this bit, every now and then this monitor does this, like it has this strip in this exact same spot is scrambled, but I feel like oh boy. I feel like getting to the yo dog, where's my boot disk is a really good sign, and that likely means that a lot of stuff on the motherboard is working and is healthy, and oh my god. Okay. That is pretty outstanding. That is pretty outstanding. I am really excited about that. I've had this computer for over a year and haven't done anything with it, and now it's at least this much working. Okay. All right. Okay. There are further steps to do. All right. Let's now it's time to really roll up the sleeves and get to work on this thing.
That turned out about as well as I could have hoped, especially considering the botch job that I did. There's still obviously a ton of work left to be done. It's splayed out on the table with all of its bits showing. Still have to finish cleaning up the inside of the case, put it all together, test out to make sure the rest of it works, operating system, on and on and on. Unfortunately, that is going to have to wait until May, which is part of why I'm cutting this off here. I have a bunch of stuff going on in April. I should have a couple of videos come out in April. They're not going to be on this topic. In May, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get back to this because I've come this far and I'm so close. So I'm super excited, and it's taking all the willpower I have to not continue tinkering with this right now. So if you are interested in seeing future tinkering with this Mac IIfx, click the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this tinkering with this Mac IIfx, click the like button. And until next time, try to remember the good stuff.